Going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Just sitting here actually kind of working on a video, but not really getting anywhere too quick. This got me thinking about the last time I had made a video. It's been a little while. I do have one other channel that I do make videos on, and most of the time it's sort of like home repairs, or this one was auto repair. I was fixing something on a van, sharing how I did it, and hopefully other people can learn from it and whatever. It's winter time, so it's RC car racing time. I showed you guys a little bit of that, and that's been fun. But speaking of cameras and GoPros and making videos, I couldn't help but kind of look at some of the stuff I have between the clamps and the tripods and other types of camera holders. And I got my 360 and my one GoPro, of course the GoPro that I'm filming on, and tripod, all kinds of stuff. And you got to have the computer program that kind of put it all together, and you got to subscribe to music, you know, if you want to put music in your videos without getting copyright infringed on it. You got to have good stuff there. But kind of went back to what my grandfather used to use when he would film things. So it's an old Bell and Howell 8mm. It's kind of neat looking. I've never tried filming on it, but I like how he keeps everything. So we got the warranty card and all the instructions. But he's got the camera. And this thing, it weighs a ton. You know, it's definitely well built back in the days, but I don't really know how to use it. But I know you just pop the side off and you can put a reel in there. It's kind of like a regular camera, 35mm type camera, but this is just a little 8mm movie camera. And I think you take and you wind this thing up. And that puts a little tension on a spring in there. And you look through this viewfinder. I don't know if I can even do that. You look through that to kind of put whatever you want to film in the scene. And they got settings on the front here, looks like, for different brightness of the day, whether it be bright sunshine, hazy, shaded area, so on. You can turn this to whatever you want. This doesn't seem to turn. But then you want to film, you just pull this little lever down and I think this little thing on the side here tells you how much film you have left. But kind of a neat old camera, but of course if you're gonna have one of these, you gotta have one of these. And if you're gonna be filming in dark areas, you gotta have the light bar. You plug in the big light bulbs and hold this thing up. You put the light bulbs in there, and I think it looks like it's got a place where you can put it on a pole. Imagine walking around filming stuff with that. That's something else. Then after you film, you gotta have the projector, right? I think this thing's kind of neat. You put your reel on there and run it down through here. You pop this open, put your film in there and around and back up to the unloading wheel or whatever you call that, and you hit play. Always throw a movie in there and see if we can't watch a couple seconds of it. I try to keep these reels in a nice place, because I know they don't like sunlight, they don't like heat. Number 10, I remember, because I went through all of these and I wrote notes as to what was on them. I numbered them. I believe this one's got a little video of the very first motorcycle I learned to ride on, an old CT70. So let's see if we can see that. And one thing I don't have is I don't have a screen. So I just use a piece of paper. And if I do it really close, it's a very small screen, a very small picture. But I have done it clear across the room, and it covers half that wall down there. So if I had a screen, it probably would look pretty good. All right, let's see if we can focus this. And there it is. That's the bike that I got started on. Boy, I'd like to have that thing again today. Doesn't that sound remind you of school? That sound of the projector stopping, that's when everybody woke up. It's kind of neat to dig this thing out once in a while, look at a few old videos. Nowadays you need all of this stuff, and you need to subscribe to do the video editing. You need music, you need the earmuffs so that you're not bothering everybody with your editing, and all the batteries and cameras. I mean, it's crazy. I had to go out in the garage to get something. A little later in the day now, and the kid's working on the RC car. So he needs to measure a few springs, so I get him a special tool. But anyway, in regards to the cameras, you know, one of the things I think about with my GoPros and making my videos is looking at the old 8mm videos that my grandfather made. There's got to be 30 reels of video in that box, and I've looked at all of them. He's got some pretty cool ones from when he was hunting back in the day. This is it's my grandfather there, but he was a great guy, and he was a great shot when it come to hunting antelope and hunting deer and, well, anything really. But he was a good deer hunter around here. We always kind of joked, called him one shot, because he never shot more than one shot at a deer. He just always seemed to hit them. But it's really enjoyable to look back at those videos and see those memories. And with making videos on GoPros and editing them, you don't really have to edit them if you don't want to. You can make them pretty raw and just save them. Put them on your hard drive, or put them on a remote hard drive, whatever. Save them. I usually back them up on a couple of thumb drives, or just in a couple different places in case one hard drive dies. But you can also put them on YouTube. Like, I've got my channel, obviously you're watching it. I've got a lot of videos in there on that channel that are not open to the public, but I can share them. I can share the link with people, and my family can also go in there and look at whatever videos they want. And it's a nice way to save your memories, and share things with friends and family. You don't have to share it with the public. So, and it's always there. If your computer just gets a virus and crashes and it's junk, well, you got all that stuff is in the cloud and YouTube, so you don't really lose it. So if you're thinking about getting a GoPro, because I've had people ask me, how do you make your videos? I really like them. How do you make them? It's really not too difficult. I know I got a lot of stuff, but really, I see people do it with just their cell phones. So it's really not that hard. It's kind of fun. I watch a fair number of moto vloggers like Moto Missions and Sean Smoke, I like to watch him. Thrashing, of course. Two Lane Life. It's kind of, I'll be honest, it's kind of hard to watch Two Lane Life after watching Thrashing, because I like Thrashing's style. Two Lane Life is good too. They do some nice traveling, but I kind of like the crazy stuff. It's fun to watch. But I'm going to end this video pretty soon, but I thought about talking one more thing. I like, obviously, Harley Davidson. Everybody knows that. I have Harleys, but I'm not opposed to any other manufacturer. I like them all. And I know Harley Davidson has gotten a lot of flack, I guess, from owners because of the previous CEO that just got bumped out, and we got a new CEO in there, and everybody's mad because he doesn't know how to ride. And of course, I guess he rides now. He went and got his license, or at least took the class, but he doesn't have a history with motorcycles. I personally don't think you need to have a history with motorcycles to be a good CEO. CEOs, in my opinion, need to have a good business sense about them. And that's really what we need. We need to keep these bikes selling, and keep the company thriving, because they are coming out with some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, they're maybe a little behind the times in comparison to other manufacturers, but you got to remember what Harley Davidson's about. It's about the heritage. If we wanted to have the latest and greatest of technology as soon as it's available, then we'd probably go out and buy Hondas or buy BMWs. We like Harley riders, like Harley Davidsons for their heritage, their sort of old style, the old V-twin. I would say generally that's what people think. And I'll say, I think I've said it before, but my Street Glide, I really like it. It's a twin cam. It's 2013, so it's the last year before the Rushmore models. And I like it. I have thought about getting rid of it and getting something different, something newer. If I did, I would honestly be looking at probably the Pan America. But I do like it. I will say it was probably the worst riding bike I ever bought. The rear suspension on a Street Glide is not for anybody with a bad back. That is for sure. I did change the rear suspension on it, and it's better. Changed bars, definitely more comfortable. And yeah. But I do like where Harley Davidson is going as far as trying to appeal to the younger crowd. And I think obviously the biggest elephant in the room as to why a younger crowd doesn't go with Harley Davidson is because of the cost. To get into Harley Davidson, a new one, it's expensive. And even the Sportsters, they used to be 883s like this used to be fairly reasonable, but the Nightster that's out now, even though they dropped it down to $9,900 and $99, whatever, just a penny below 10 grand, so they can say that under $10,000, which I think is funny. It's still a fair amount of money for a bike. Now there's the talk of coming out with the Sprint model, and the Sprint model is supposed to be around $6,000 or $6,000 to $7,000, which I think is great. And yeah, I know it's basically a Benelli motorcycle with a badging of Harley Davidson, so it's not even a Harley at heart. And I get it. It's not truly a Harley. I would probably say the same thing, but people have to at least get a taste of what it's like going into a Harley Davidson dealership and purchasing a bike from Harley Davidson dealership. To me, it's different. I've purchased bikes from Honda dealerships, and they weren't bad, but it's different. It's just it's hard to explain, but it's just different going to a Harley Davidson dealership. And will my next bike be a Harley Davidson? Probably. Am I opposed to going a different route? No, I'm not. But with things that are going on with me and my health, I'm not even really sure what I'm going to do with the bikes I have now. With the head spinning that I get once in a while, the vertigo and stuff, it's kept me off the bikes a little bit this year. I've still gone out for a ride here and there, but hopefully in the next month or so I get some more answers as to what's going on and what kind of challenge I have ahead. But anyway, I think that Harley Davidson is doing the right thing, going and trying to appease the younger crowd and the entry-level riders. I commend them for that. I'm not going to, if anybody goes into a dealership and buys a Sprint, or if that's what they end up calling it, or, you know, the rebadged Benelli, whatever it truly is, I ain't going to talk bad about it. Anybody that gets a Pan America or a Nightster with the Revolution Max motor, more power to you. Those are great bikes. I love them. I really like the Nightster, actually. I've ridden that a few times, and it's a fun bike. Just fun. If you don't smile on that bike, then you're just a grump, because that's a fun bike to rip around on. So anyway, I'm rambling on. I don't mean to ramble. I don't want to make my videos boring, which they already are. Like, I'm at 9 minutes on this little rant. So anyway, have fun. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Soft light falls on quiet